Ashanti.
Nia.
Today we'll be discussing cursing in front of or at your kids and cursing in front of or at your parents. So, we was just discussing that these two ladies right here have recently heard their kids cursing. Now, how old is your daughter?
My daughter is 14.
And how old is your daughter?
12.
And I have a 12-year-old. So I haven't caught her cursing, but I'm pretty sure she's cursing. I'm not gonna blow my spot, but what were you saying? I asked you what you heard.
Yeah, so she didn't curse like out loud, so to speak. It was, her phone, and her phone is not allowed to be like, well, it is locked, but I have the code, so I'm going in anytime. And she has an iPhone, I don't have a Samsung, so I go in. Her pictures are better, so I take pictures with her phone. So let me see your phone, and then she, gets.
You said the pictures are better on the iPhone.
Well, that one particularly, because there's a couple Samsungs that's way better than iPhone.
Right.
But no,
it's
a little thing we got with our phones.
Right. She said that I can't take pictures on my iPhone.
Her phones is like real sucky.
I posted no more of her videos from her birthday or mountains.
Yes, she is.
Y'all heard her, right?
Yes, she is. She loves me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so, I got her phone and I was going through it, and something was like, just go through, little text messages and stuff like that. And so, it was like a whole conversation, text. It was just like some stuff.
Was it to a girl or a boy?
And so that was the double thing. So she's not allowed to have any boys without my permission. I need to know who these young gentlemen are, what they're talking about, who you are. So there's two that's allowed because I have history with them and their mom and stuff like that.
Right.
They're fine. Any new ones? We had a discussion. We are going to talk about this person. Who is this person? I need to meet their parents, especially a boy. So she was talking to a boy, and she was cussing, and he was talking about some crazy stuff.
Wow.
And it was like sexual stuff, not from her, but from him. Some things that she talked about I was proud about, but the cursing and stuff. So her phone got revoked for a minute. She cannot. Snapchat is no longer. She doesn't have an Instagram or an IG or on Facebook. No social media. And she is not allowed to have Snapchat. She has to earn that back. So
what social media is she allowed to have?
None.
No, prior to this incident.
It was Snapchat.
Snapchat, okay.
Yeah, it was Snapchat.
Yeah.
Oh my!
And I'm only asking because I got a 12-year-old, so I don't know when they're allowed to start.
Yeah. So one thing that they're doing, I'm not gonna put her all out there like that.
Right.
These little shout-outs. These little shout-outs.
We teaching now.
These little shout-outs that they're doing. So what happens is, boys were sending her like little pictures to shout them out from her page on Snapchat. And so I saw the picture because you have to save it to the phone. So she had a couple boys, and I was like, "What we doing here?"
Right.
Who is this one? This one was in here 3 times. Why you got 3 shout-outs? So that was an issue, and so we talked about it, had a good conversation. So she's not allowed to have any social media. She has to earn that back.
How do you approach?
I did give her phone back though.
I want you to tell the viewers what does that conversation look like or sound like when you talk to your 14-year-old about something that they've done or said that's inappropriate? Like, how do you address it? What are you saying to them?
Well,
I went through the same thing. First of all, from an angry standpoint, shut your social media page down right now. You know what I mean? But that was after I wiped my tears over the devastation that little Jazzy is doing this. Complete devastation.
Still beautiful child.
Yeah. Right, but I had to realize peer pressure.
Yes.
I feel like she felt like she had to talk like this because that's what everybody's doing. Right. So it wasn't that she just felt cool cussing. She felt like if she didn't cuss, she's
wasn't cool.
Wrong
she was
one.
square.
Right. Can they curse at 16?
Not
in front of you, but
right.
If they're talking like through their phone, if they talking to a friend, I mean.
I know what I told my daughter is, I think when you curse, and I have cursed, of course. I think, and I hate it. I think that women, especially that it's not tasteful.
Right.
And I think that there's other words that you can choose. And I told her this. I said, whenever you curse, I feel like you're not finding a better word to express yourself, so you're taking an easy way out. That's just me personally. Now, like if you're, you know, a rapper or someone, and that's how you're making your lifestyle. So, you know, whatever. But you know, as a child, I want you to be a little more respectful as to how you're communicating, and you know how you're. I didn't raise you this way, you know. So find a better word, because to me, right now, she felt a little insulted because she said, "Well, I feel like you're calling me dumb." I said, "Well, you're not using your words properly."
Right.
So what do you say? So I've heard that before. I've had someone say, people that curse a lot, they curse because
it's the easy way out.
Limited,
I think it is.
Like they're intelligent, they're limited, you
Yeah.
know, in that department, so they don't have any other words to use, which sometimes is not always the case. I'm educated, but I sometimes like to get a good session in sometimes, you know, if I'm upset, it happens. Right. Like it happens. I'm not going to say it doesn't. And so the reason why I brought this up is because I, of course, would never allow my child, especially at this age, she's 12, to curse in front of me. Now, if she was talking to a friend and I happened to see it, I think it just depends on, at this age, no. At maybe 13 to 16, if I saw her in, you know, messages and she was saying something, but it wasn't like harsh, like the real harsh, you know, the real harsh curses. Not that any curses are good, but the real harsh ones, and depending on the subject, I may not really have an issue with it. And that's probably because, which sounds like a double standard, is because I cuss in front of my mother. I do curse in front of my mother. And recently I had a conversation with one of the elders in my family, my great aunt, and she said, I think it's so disrespectful for people to curse in front of, you know, kids to curse in front of their parents. And it stemmed from this past Thanksgiving. Everybody was at the house and I was cooking something and something happened and I was like, oh shit. And I said it out loud. And I felt like as soon as I said the S word, like it was quiet. It was like, no, right, you got 30 people in your house. It's super quiet. There's no music all of a sudden. And all you heard was the S word fly out my mouth. And it was like, okay, well, I probably wouldn't have cared if it was just my mom, but because my great aunt was sitting there, I actually felt weird cursing in front of her, but not in front of my mother. And growing up, I never cursed in front of my mom. But as I got older, if I was talking about something and I cursed, it wasn't a big deal. Now cursing at my mom, that's an absolute no-no.
That's the difference.
That's a whole nother story. But when her and I were going back and forth about the cursing in front of your parents, I feel like that's super old school because I was not taught to curse in front of my parents. Let's just be clear. My mother did not raise me like that. I don't know how and when the first time I ever cursed.
When did that happen? Like,
right. All right, so I'm gonna be honest. I think it happened, and if I can probably share a story that I don't think my mom would be upset about. So growing up, there was a situation where my mom had went out one night and she had too much to drink. We went to a party the following morning. She did not sleep it off enough. Let's just put it like that, because she was still intoxicated when we went to the party, from her party the night before at a different party. And so I was embarrassed. You know, as a child, I was embarrassed. I felt like my mom was acting not appropriate, like not how a mom should be acting. And so I poured out her drink. And if anyone knows my mom, she will fight you. And so
she will fight you.
She will hit you. Okay. And so she gave me that look like I'm about to attack you. And it was because I poured out her drink. And I remember her and I getting into it. And that was the first time and the only time I have ever cursed at my mom. And I think I said shit. I just probably said like, this shit makes no sense or something like that. But I remember after saying it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. Like, I just cursed at my mother. Like, it's over. Like, life as we know it is over. And it probably would have been over. Thank you, Uncle Gary, for holding my mom's in a barrel. Shout out to Uncle Gary. For protecting me. I can't kiss my mama.
I was going to say, too, that I think it goes to your background, because I know we have a similar Pentecostal background, and I always say I would never cuss in front of anybody's mother, but like I was saying earlier, that you know, whenever I was at your house for Super Bowl Sunday, and everybody was cussing. So like we discussed earlier, peer pressure. I cussed in front of your mother, and when I left, I convicted myself that I was like, I was actually cussing in front of her mother, and I just felt bad. And I made sure I was mindful next time to not do that again.
If you feel conviction, then I think you shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
like for me, I'm not doing it. I'm not cussing in front of my mother, and my daughter is not cussing in front of my mother. And my daughter, you know what I mean? I'm not. It's just not gonna happen for me personally. I personally think that it is disrespectful because, and I think that's the reason why we kind of got to where we are now, to a sense, because we have lost a touch of respect between elders. Elders don't, they don't come together with the younger people, and the younger people, there's such a gap there. There's, you know what I mean? And so there's no teachings going on, and that's why we're having this, you know what I mean, this show as well, because these conversations need to be had. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a disrespect for someone of an elder who's been through something you're probably going to go through, you're going to need help with, and for me to curse you, because cussing is a curse.
Right. Exactly.
It's a curse. Because your words are very important. Your words, you either speaking positive, you're speaking life, or you're speaking death. Period. You're speaking good or bad. So if I'm cursing at you, that doesn't make sense to me.
And that's why I
and that's why I'm like, you need a better word to use, and learn how to use when you're frustrated. Use better words. Try to use the better word.
Now, even though I will curse in front of my mom, I wouldn't curse in front of your mom.
And that's why
I'm not cursing in front of nobody else. Like my mom, that's our relationship. That's different. And it, going back to that conversation my aunt and I had, I remember saying, I can see how it can be viewed as disrespectful, because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, dang, I can't believe I cursed in front of my mom. Like we was not taught, we were not, we didn't grow up like that. And so I said, you know what? It made me think about, my mom has 4 girls. And I'm the second. I have an older sister and 2 younger sisters. Now my older sister and I, we will curse. All of us will curse in front of our mom. All of us.
Okay.
But only my 2 younger sisters will curse at my mom. And I found that to be disrespectful, because I said I will not. And so when I was going back and forth, I said, one of the things that I've learned is that the reason why a lot of kids and younger people feel comfortable not just cursing in front of their mom or cursing at their parent, whether it be mom or dad or any adult, one is because of the respect that that parent did not have for themselves when they was raising them kids. Because if you respect yourself as a parent, your child is not going to feel that they can talk to you that way. So they had to see you and have certain experiences with you to feel comfortable enough to do that, to have that type of dialect with you. I remember back in the day, we wouldn't curse in front of adults. If you was in school and you saw an adult walking, we start whispering. Nowadays, these kids will curse you, your mother, your grandmother. They have no respect. And it's another generation.
So how do you handle, what kind of, what did you do for Jazzy?
So we just had to really reevaluate the participation that we had in her phone.
Did you take the phone? Or
yeah, I took the phone. I made her. They don't have a phone right now. Only for situations
How long
where we're
has
not
it been?
there. It's been about a month.
Wow.
And so and that's
I feel like a weak parent right now, because
I couldn't be weak no more, because I was like that. At this point, it's out of control.
Well, I feel so weak because I think her phone was only gone for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, and they play on that when you only, because that's what they kept saying. You're gonna give it back. So I had to stick to my ground.
So we gotta be stronger. Stick to your ground. And when you're disciplining your kids, whatever it is, just stand your ground. You know what I'm saying? Try to be strong, whatever. I don't know.
Just remember, if you want your kids to respect you, then you need to make sure you looked at it in a certain light. Make sure you're respecting yourself. With that, we're gonna close. I appreciate everyone tuning in today. Nadia, again, Spoily2003 at yahoo.com. You can catch me on Facebook at Nadia Frazier.
Ashanti at Ashanti's Corner, or Facebook at Ashanti Jones Bidding.
And Mia at Madam's Music on Instagram, Madam's Music on Facebook. And this is Thinking Out Loud. Save the Arts TV.
Yes.
Later. Bye.